Two unemployed actors, two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we just made it. Got through the door 5 minutes late. We're already late. I mean, it's Friday afternoon here, and we normally put the episode out on a Thursday, we being me. But hey, you know, life happens, and a few tech issues. Nothing a generous glass of red wine can't handle. And I tell you, if this episode is one of our 40
I've
minutes.
already finished a glass of wine. So
just waiting for my tech issues to finish.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, the bottle's within my reach, so if we go too long, the last few minutes are going to be really interesting. But this episode, we're going to talk about some great recommendations of what we're watching. And before we get into that, something exciting happened yesterday.
Yes. Go.
Last night, an industry event, like a real one, like in person, like with a movie and then a Q&A, just like the pre-pandemic days. It felt so good.
Where was it? What was it?
The Drover's Wife, written, directed and starring Leah Purcell.
Cool.
Fantastic writer, director. I know she's directed Clever Man. She's directed a few other bits and pieces here and there, but this is one of her passion project, basically.
Cool.
It's a famous Australian poet's short story that she's used as inspiration to come up with a play, which she put on maybe 2016.
Yep.
And great reviews, like it was amazing. And then unlocked finance to make the movie.
Very cool.
And the movie, I really enjoyed it. I mean, the ending, okay, I probably thought it could have ended a bit sooner and just leave you hanging a little bit, just to make it a bit more gritty. But then, funnily enough, in the Q&A, she mentioned that that's where the play finished.
Okay.
And the movie allowed her to do a few things to wrap it up nice and neatly at the end, which sometimes is okay, but I don't know, I kind of liked it not knowing. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. By all means, go and see it. It's great. But she also was able to create the town, Everton, to be able to show you a bit more of what life was like as a your average Australian back in 1860s, 1890s, whenever it was, 18th century. The other thing she did was introduce a couple of characters from London who really, it's kind of a way to reach a more commercial audience. It's sort of helping us connect and helping people who aren't familiar with Australian outback stories, particularly Indigenous ones.
Yep.
Because she's part First Nation, she's part Indigenous Australian. So there was a lot of that influence. But those two characters as they discover the village life and her, it's kind of us, discovering life and her. So it helps us get a sort of way in.
Cool.
But lots of inspiration from her personal life. And I really love that. Not waiting for opportunities, just actually creating it and then going out and doing it. And it's already, it's about to be picked up as a serial as well. So make a mini series. So, I mean, it's great guns. It's like she just released, let's say it went from, because the producer was there, one of the producers was there and said for the play, he invited the person responsible for Screen Australia funding. So the Australian federal body for funding film. And the Create New South Wales person who was responsible for the New South Wales level of funding.
Oh, cool.
So a bit risky, but opening night was amazing. 7 minutes standing ovation, 5 encores. Good. It was perfect. And
Did you stand for 7 minutes?
No, this was for the play. So he went straight into negotiations with the money people to okay, well, let's get onto the movie.
Yep.
And there was a gap of, I think, 1.7 mil, which they bridged through private investment and philanthropy. Oh my! I probably would have been able to say that better before my red wine, but anyway, philanthropic endeavours and private investment.
At, isn't it?
Oh, bottle. Mind you, my day started at 6 a.m. It's now almost 6 p.m. 6 a.m. because I had to go to the dentist. this morning. I mean, you know, the glamorous lifestyle, it takes a lot to keep this up.
Yeah.
Sam, as you know, driving all over the place, doing chores.
Time. Work and all.
Yeah, no, I'm not good before like noon. Just felt like it's raining. It felt like a winter's day and I should just stay in bed and probably...
Why'd you go to the dentist so early?
Well, it's been a while and I put off the last appointment because I was busy like moving and then I'm in for like June and then something opened up and like, oh, come on in on Friday. I'm like, yeah, Friday, I'll do that. And then realised that to get there at 8:30 in the morning in Sydney means I have to get up at 6 o'clock here.
Oh, nice.
Do the drive down and then breakfast in town and then get the dentist attacking you, which was a lot of fun. Let's just say I've earned this red wine.
Yep.
So, but yeah, and of course last night driving in to see the actor event with Leah Purcell, the producers, the great movie, I'm like, it helps inspire us to create more original content, really. And it's great that we're able to go back to do more. I think they mentioned there's a couple other events coming up. Baz Luhrmann finished his epic on Elvis. So there might be an event where we get to preview that.
Yeah, that looks cool.
And a couple other bits and pieces. But yeah, no, it's been good. I'll tell you what, when it comes to what I've been watching, apart from my mad dash to Sydney for a movie time, I've been watching a lot of stories based on real life.
Yeah, they're cool.
Because first of all, let's just single out Ozark and how much we love Ozark. And I binged those episodes as they dropped, and I'm literally like, I'm shutting out the entire world until I know how it ends.
Yeah.
And loved the ending. I hear it's sort of been mixed, but I mean, it's hard when it's 4 seasons of a series you love. You're never going to make everyone happy with how it ends, right?
No, it's so hard to finish shows like that.
And without
100%.
spoiling it too much, I just love the way that everything's about protecting the family. Every season, every episode, protect the family, keep them safe. And
it's
get
similar
out.
to Animal Kingdom in that sense.
Protect the family, keep them safe, and get out of this world, to a safer world.
Yeah.
Yet at the final episode, the finale, you see the family dragged well and truly into it as the gun goes off, and very much still a part of that world, and unfortunately intertwined with that world. Just absolute gangster finish. I love it. But I've got this huge Ozark-sized hole in my viewing habit. So I managed to watch a couple of episodes when I was in LA of what was it, the Uber television series, Super Pumped. I think it's Super Pumped. I think that's what it's called. It's coming. Actually, it released today in Australia on. I think it's Paramount Plus.
Yeah, okay.
I've only watched the first couple of episodes, and that was after a few drinks. So I probably could do with watching them again. But
them again.
I did enjoy them. I'll see them through a whole new light and actually understand what's going on now. But I watched WeCrashed about the the fantastic rise and spectacular fall of WeWork and the founders. WeCrashed is just amazing. It's just it's a story that's so bizarre. It needs a television series to explain it.
Okay.
And then The Dropout, which is based on the woman who started up that tech health startup where you just need a drop of blood and they could test for everything.
And it was all a scandal, wasn't it? Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The writer who broke the story, John Carreyrou, I read his book on it. Yeah. And obviously the book's got amazing detail and it's well worth a read. So I've got in fully informed, but Amanda Seyfried, just like amazing performances from everyone. I can't even single out any one person. It was just fantastic. I really enjoyed the way they showed that world, because people would go, well, why didn't you just say, it's fake? Or why didn't you just
Yeah.
Just go to the authorities, like in this perfect world where you can just put your hand up and go, authorities, help me. But the amount of security, the amount of segregation between the teams. So you'd imagine what you're working on makes sense in the big picture because someone else is working on the tech that works.
Yeah.
But the whole time the tech didn't work. Not only that, when they were negotiating to put actual units in stores, and people were going in like, test my blood, they were shipping it to the head office where they would test on other machines that worked, that were proven, and then say it was their machine. I mean, the level of subterfuge, if it's just all because she wanted to be this Steve Jobs type, complete with an affected voice, like really deeper than it is, and black skivvies, and I'm the whole tech startup and all the rest of it. And amazing names on the board and billions of dollars. Like, it's just incredible.
It's ridiculous how people invest without actually...
And the tech never worked.
It's stupid.
It was a great idea, but it never worked.
Oh, God. I watched the Tinder Swindler a couple months back as well.
How good was that?
That was great. And
what an arsehole.
When I watched it, I read that he was in Bondi.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
and he was there.
He got out of prison. He was in prison in
5 months or something.
Israel for not very long.
Something ridiculous, and he should have been in there longer. It's just he found an absolute loophole where all these women have taken money out in their names. So impossible.
Well, the issue also is which country do you bring charges? Because
all that stuff.
He spent the money in one country that was from a woman from another country, spent on a credit card that's in someone else's name in another country. Like, it's just it's complicated to try and
that was insane.
Together.
That was like a true story, and then
Wasn't
none of
it
his accomplices got anything or whatever.
No, the pretend bodyguard. I mean, the thing is, you get taken by these people because their whole game is to take you, whether it's the billions in Silicon Valley.
But I wouldn't send anyone like 50 grand for, but
that's my point.
Take out all these loans and stuff. But I guess like they were in love with that sort of feeling.
But that's it. He doesn't put the hooks in. He doesn't put the hooks in. Doesn't ask for anything, right? No. He's gone to 1, 2, 3 dates, and we're talking private planes, luxury hotels, the bodyguard in tow type dates. So when he says, "Oh my God, my credit cards, there's an issue with the banking," or whatever the story of the day was,
it's a good scam.
10 grand doesn't feel like much when you've just been on a private plane. It's like, well, so these people are experts at taking. They can pick out like prey. And absolutely extract them. The thing is, if he was supposed to be this diamond merchant, I mean, what's the easiest way to get money across borders? It's diamonds, right?
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
He had nothing to do with
Yet he was like,
company.
I can't get money out of the company. It's like your whole business is diamonds, apparently.
Yeah,
apparently. But he might
Family
see
business.
Justice because the very wealthy family that he was trying to impersonate as though he was a part of.
The actual owners of the diamond company,
are starting to take action and build up a little dossier on him and go to town because obviously it's negatively impacting their name. Suddenly their name's associated with this Swindler guy.
On Netflix and stuff,
Boom.
All that, it's massive. Jess and I started a show recently called Our Flag Means Death.
That sounds
Don't know if you've heard
like
of
a
it.
lighthearted rom-com.
It's on Foxtel or Binge. One of the episodes was directed by Taika Waititi. I think he has something to do with it all. He's brilliant, and he also plays Blackbeard in it. And it's about it's a comedy, and it's actually quite funny. Like, it's about a wealthy landowner who kind of has a midlife crisis and decides to build a ship and become a pirate captain. So
somewhat eccentric.
Yeah, and it's played by I think you pronounce his name Rhys Darby or whatever.
Right.
A lot of Kiwi actors in it, which is great to see, like, supporting all those guys and stuff. And there's only 10 episodes at this point. But it's a super cool modernization of, like, pirates in 1717 or whatever it was. And there's a lot of non-binary characters
comedic
and
lens.
gay characters and all this stuff.
Right. Our flag means death.
Our flag means death. Yeah, it's super funny.
I'll put it on my list.
You kind of explores the relationship between Steed is the character's name that Rhys Darby plays, and Blackbeard.
How did I not hear about this? Especially with Taika in it.
It's a bit obscure, but it's like it's only on Binge and Foxtel. It's not on any of the streaming services.
So I wonder where it is in North America then as well. Well, that's interesting because I follow his. I've been tracking him through my IMDb Pro, and I can't. Yeah. And I missed it.
Well, maybe because I looked it up. I don't know if he actually had anything to do with the writing, so maybe that's why.
Yeah,
but he did direct one of the episodes. I mean, he's obviously a big name in that show. But it's a nice show to watch and not have to think. Like, it's
bit
just
of escapism.
One of those shows that you can just chill out and watch.
We need that.
And in other exciting news, Love, Death and Robots Season 3 is coming out soon.
I know, right?
That
How
anthology
exciting.
series is so freaking good.
It's good. It's like Black Mirror, but with a bit of a spin. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's similar. Have you seen Oaks Productions? Oak Productions. It's like a similar thing. It's an anthology series, but super.
Is that on Netflix as well?
Gory. Yeah, I think it is on Netflix. Yeah, super gory.
Well, I actually rewatched.
Studios or something.
I rewatched one episode from Love, Death and Robots out of the last series.
Yeah.
This week actually. So funny you should mention it. It was the customer service one where it's the cartoon and she's trying to save the dog because she accidentally set the robot cleaner to purge.
Oh yeah. That's all of them are so creative, and like you watch it and appreciate the cartoons.
There's elements of truth to it. It was hilarious,
so
but
well,
it's
like so much.
Scary. Love Death and Robots. Love it. Well, on the true stories. So WeCrashed, the Dropout. I'm in the middle of two more.
Yeah.
Gaslight.
Yeah, right.
Which has Julia Roberts and Sean Penn, although it's hard to recognise Sean Penn in the fat suit. Based on the Watergate scandal and how they got caught, how that came about.
Okay.
In Australia, it's on Stan, so it's probably Hulu or something like that in the States. But really interesting, really good, really well written, really, really smart. I love it. It's
another true story I want to add to your list.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but it's like, but it really, you have to keep reminding yourself that this really happened. It's just so
Have you heard of Bad Vegan?
It's on
Netflix
mentioned
as well.
it to me.
It's another true story.
Okay.
About quite a successful woman who opens up a plant-based restaurant and then meets a guy and he's weird as hell.
I think I watched a bit of that. Yeah, and
it's a bit of a weird
she
one.
lost her money somehow and got associated.
Same idea, just there for the money.
And lastly, but certainly not least, The Offer.
The Offer with Miles
amazing.
Teller. Oh,
how good is it? Have you seen it? It's so good. It's so good. Yes, it's amazing. It's so basically, for those who don't know, it's the story of the Godfather.
How it was made, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
So basically, it's because I've read the book by Mario Puzo, and obviously, I mean, the movie's just amazing. But the story behind how the movie got made is just so bizarre. It's again, just like Gaslight. You have to keep reminding yourself that this actually happened.
This actually happened, yeah.
Because it is hilarious. And, it's just also, great insight into the world of producing. But wow.
So have you seen
really
it?
Well acted. Yeah, up to episode 4, I think. 4, 3,
Oh, it's
4.
a series, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise. I thought it was a film. It's on Netflix, no? Or Stan? No, it's on Stan.
I think it's on Stan. I can't remember now.
I think it's on Stan. Yeah, okay.
But really interesting. And the latest episode just dropped today, I think. Friday is the day for Gaslight Sunday. Look, at the end of the day, just get stuck into it. Get stuck into it. Some great stuff. Great television based on real stories that are just so bizarre. They need a whole series to explain. It's full on.
But no, Miles Teller's amazing. He's probably one of my favourite actors because he can play so many different characters, but in such a real way. There's such subtle differences because that's what people are. They're all we're all people.
His character in The Offer is amazing because you do get to see his range. I mean, you get to see the naive, the naive stars in the eyes persona that starts, that then becomes almost tyrannical in some meetings to try and just and subterfuge to try and get deals done and get things like, so you do get to see the character change depending on the situation as well as over time. It's a really great character, really great arc to play, and based on the book written by the producer. So, and I think he's executive producing. I thought he might have written, but I don't think he wrote for The Offer, but he's EP. So, you know, from the actual person who was there, who it's based on. I can't remember the producer's name. That's why I'm stalling. But
that's right.
Still, three sips of wine ago, I would have just remembered it straight away. But you know, we're only human. You know what? I forgot the most bizarre and true story. Yeah. The staircase.
The staircase.
The staircase. Now you have to do it in this order, okay, Sam?
Okay.
You have to watch the docuseries on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was one of the first in the early days of the true crime docuseries stuff that really made that a true huge genre on Netflix.
Yep.
And because the French filmmakers who are making the documentary have unprecedented access into both the room where the accused famous author whose wife was found at the bottom of the stairs is charged with murder, and you're in that room as they progress, and you're also with the prosecutor about how they're approaching the case.
Yeah, right.
And watching the twists and turns is just phenomenal. Like, I remember that, I think it was episode 3 or something, and all of a sudden he mentions that his previous wife was found at the bottom of stairs.
Weird.
And the lawyers are like,
true story.
Yeah, you're watching it happen. The camera's in the room, and you're like, what did you just say? And then it's like, continue next week. And it was fantastic. So watch the series is amazing. Okay, and I kind of think he's innocent, but I don't know. And then at the moment, the staircase, I think it's on Foxtel for us.
Okay.
Has, oh my God, let me just get this. Toni Collette.
Yep.
And I have to Google it because I feel so bad.
Yep.
DB. I feel so bad now. I've talked it up so much. But yeah, you have to watch, at least get through a couple of episodes on Netflix of the actual like deliberations day by day with the man accused of murder and his legal team, and then the prosecution. It's fascinating. Colin Firth plays he's
awesome.
The accused murderer. He was, I think, no, he was. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but get into it. It's absolutely amazing. Like, if you love your mystery and your true crime, it absolutely keeps you guessing. And then the Staircase television series with Colin Firth and Toni Collette sort of adds another layer to it by showing how it unfolds. Because I'm wary, things like that, things like The Godfather, things like The Dropout, where I'm so familiar with the stories and the personalities, I'm sort of approaching the television series sort of tentatively going, is it really going to do anything for me?
Yeah.
But it does. It's just amazing the way it approaches it. So in a way, it's built for when you're familiar with the actual cases.
Okay, we'll do. I'll do it that order.
That you have to. It's a test.
I will.
We'll test you next week. All right. I think we've gone long enough. Any longer, and I'll start to make even less sense. But plenty of recommendations more there, and great to see more industry events. So I'm looking forward to reporting back on exciting Q&As and movies as we progress through a finally what looks like a normal year.
Yep.
And make sure that you follow, you download, and you listen, because next week we have an interview with a very special guest, Paige Walker, who is a great voice coach when it comes to different dialects, improving your voice as an actor. Make sure that you follow, download, and listen to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
and you'll hear us next week. Bye.
Two unemployed actors.